What up, gentlemen? Welcome to the fifth quarter, week 6. We live here, snowstorm edition. Uh, Interesting games been playing out the last couple of weeks. You know, when I did the fifth quarter a few weeks ago, there were about 4 or 5 undefeated teams. Since that time, every last one of them has taken a loss except two. The only two teams you have that's undefeated now is the Raiders and Cowboys. Everybody else took one loss. No blemish. Nothing wrong with it. Just to letting you know. It was quite a few undefeated teams once upon a time, and now we're down to two. But there has been, these last couple of weeks has been very, very interesting games that's been going on. So we're going to get into the standings, and then we're going to get into some recaps. In the AFC North, being that you got the Bengals in town now, it's a whole different division because normally it's always been Ravens and Steelers. Even the Bengals, the old Bengals use a Killer Kev. He's actually good. He's a good player. He's just somebody that's here today, gone tomorrow. He's just not consistent. But the Killer Kev dude that we have is good too. And we have a Bengals user now who's also good. So it puts more pressure on the Ravens and Steelers, and poor Browns now got to deal with three good teams in his division. But right now, Ravens and Bengals both stand at 5-1. Ravens was undefeated. They took a loss this week. Bengals on a 5-game win streak. They lost week 1, haven't lost since. And the Steelers just got blown out. So now they're 3-3. And the Browns, ever since their week 1 win, you would have thought that gave them some confidence, but it didn't. They dropped 4 in a row. They are now 1-4. In this AFC North, I think the Steelers he's going to have to turn the corner because I believe the Ravens and Bengals will be playing this good of ball till down to the end. So the Steelers right now, even though they're 3-3, it's not the end of the world. But when you're in a division with teams who have one loss, you're going to have to step on it. So that's the situation with the AFC North. And AFC South right now, you got the Titans and Texans dancing tied for first right now. Colts and Jags both have 5 losses each. It's looking like they're going to be out of this race. It's going to come down to Titans and Texans. I said before, Titans is a solid user, so, I'm happy to see that he's playing, more consistent and getting his team to where it needs to be. So we're looking forward to the challenge in this division. I mean, we got to get the challenge from somewhere, but right now it's a 2-man race going over there in the AFC South. In the AFC East, you have the Dolphins at 4-1. They're on the 3-game win streak. The Bills are 2-3. The Jets are 2-4. The Pats are 1-4. And it's just things that I've said before. Like when I did this fifth quarter before, the Bills was in last place in this division, and I said there was a lot of game left to be played. And I was saying I didn't know if it was last season hangover success from making all the way to the AFC Chip, but Bills are still right there in the race. The Jets, he was 2-2, as you can see. He dropped 2 in a row. He's now sliding further away from eclipsing the 500 mark. And the Pats, their highlight of the season so far has been beating the Dolphins. And even when they did that, I said, not to say that he was, but I was saying, all right, cool, you beat the Dolphins. It's no time to celebrate. And again, I'm not saying that he was, but, good win. But still in all, what difference does it make if you look around and then you 3-11 on the season? So you got to capitalize off of wins and make it mean something. Because right now, that 1-4, it looks like that win didn't even mean anything right now. So everybody in this division under 500, though, at the moment. AFC West, you got the two-time back-to-back Super Bowl champ sitting pretty at 5-0, and you still have the Broncos, who's 4-1, who's right there with them. They played already, and I believe the Raiders smoked them. So they played. They got to play one more time, and we'll see what happened in round two. Chiefs are 2-3. Chargers are 1-5. Surprisingly, at that, I would have never thought I'd seen the Chargers at 1-5, but that just goes to show you, man. I always said, you got to come in, you got to play good ball. You can't come in here, practicing not until the game is out of reach. But for the most part, man, 90% of the league, you got to come in, you got to suit up, you got to strap up. So Chargers is not in the position he want to be in. I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this division is already gone from the Chargers. So right now, the Chargers is playing for a wild card because the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders have lost 5 games total in all the seasons that we played. I mean, I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But for him to have 5 losses right now, he's not going to catch the Raiders. So he's playing for a wild card, and it can happen. He still can get a wild card spot. Don't get me wrong, but he's going to have to turn it around now. He finally won his first game of the season, but he's going to have to turn things around now. Like right now, from this moment on. In the NFC North, you got the Bears, who the current NFC champ. Look, they looking like they got a chip on their shoulder. They're 5-1, 4-game win streak. They got the Packers right there on their back at 3-2. The Lions 3-3. Cole Lyles, happy to see him at 3-3 because I've been saying for the longest, will the real Cole Lyles please stand up? Yo, Josh, what it do? We out here getting killed with snow. Tell you that much. But from what I'm hearing, it's affecting everybody. Texas, you name it, it's all over right now. But yeah, Lions are 3-3, Vikings is 0-6. But this division is still close. Even the Lions is right there at 3-3. But the Bears right now, he's looking like he's trying to get back to the bowl. He's definitely on a mission. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy out here right now. In the NFC South, you got the Bucks at 4-1, the Falcons at 3-3, Carolina Blue Mo 2-4. Maybe Carolina Blue Mo got my memo when I was talking about him when I was like, yo, what happened to my boy Carolina Blue Mo? Because he won 2 in a row, so he's now 2-4. When I was trying to figure out, scratching my head, what's going on with the Panthers, he was 0-4. He might have heard my message to him and say, yo, you know what, Q was right. Let me step it up and get on top of my game. He won his last 2, and we'll see. We'll see how the rest of this season go. But it's one game at a time. That's all you can do. No matter what, if you're a competitor, and no matter what hole you dug yourself in, you're always going to say one game at a time. And that's got to be the message to the whole locker room. Falcons at 3-3. What's interesting about the Falcons is that he reminds me of, who the Falcons remind me of, to all those that's listening right now that used to be in the league when we had somebody in the league by the name of Marzelli. Doesn't the Falcons remind you of Marzelli? Remember when I used to do the fifth quarter, I used to talk about Marzelli. I used to say Marzelli is one of them people that drive 100 miles per hour with no seatbelt. That's what the Falcons remind me of. He remind me of Marzelli. Because, everything is so fast paced and 100% with him, but he's reckless, right? I played the Falcons last season, and I came back on him in the very end. You know what I mean? Because he was playing reckless. Like he did some stuff that ended up hurting him, and you know what I'm saying, in the long run. Like I remember he had me on 1st and goal. And he went for it on 4th down instead of kicking the field. No, he went for it on 4th down and came away with no points. I came back still in the game from him, sent him to Heartbreak Hotel. But what I'm saying is that the reason why he remind me of Marzelli, because Marzelli do things like that. I always talk about it's always cool. It always look cool when you doing tricks or something, right? And everything is going according to plan. Like how you watch movies, you see dudes on the movies, they drive them with one hand and half of their bodies out the window. All that look cool, right? They hollering at shorties, but as soon as they hit that rock or something, turbulence. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the Falcons remind me of. He got a little bag to get in. I'm here to give him that. You know what I'm saying? The Falcons could play, but he's just he'll hurt himself before you get a chance to hurt him. That's what he remind me of. He remind me of Marzelli, but he's 3-3, so he he's at the 500 mark. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens moving forward. He just got a big win over the Ravens, though, so maybe that can catapult to some more wins. Cowboys right now, Cowboys is definitely on top of their game. Again, I said, to me, the Cowboys looking this season like how the Bills looked last season. Bills missed the playoffs the season before last and made the playoffs last season. Not only made the playoffs, made it all the way to the AFC Chip with a shot to go to the bowl. The Cowboys missed the playoffs last season. And now look, here he is right now at 5-0. It's something about a chip on the shoulder. When you hear me talk about that, that's something real. I mean, look, if you don't think confidence, swag plays a part in playing these games, you are mistaken. All of that factors in. I mean, look, let me tell you something. Let me give you some examples. If you miss the playoffs, you definitely can't wait for next season to start because you feeling like, we taking out on everybody that we play. That's just the mindset that you have, right? So it's going to come out and it's going to show. If you intimidated or if you kind of scary, it's going to show. Like for me, right? I feel like for some reason I play better when I'm down. This is why I keep getting all these heartbreak hotel moments because no matter how much I'm down, in my mind, I'm still feeling like I'm in the game. And it shows. You can't pull out the type of games that I do if you already kind of waving the white flag. If you already saying, no, peace treaty, waving the white flag, it's going to show. You ain't going to pull out no game. So in your mind, you got to feel like, I'm good. We can still do this. And if you don't think confidence is half the battle, I don't know what to tell you. But trust me when I tell you, it's no coincidence the Bills turned up last season, and it's no coincidence the Cowboys turned up this season. If you a real competitor and you got that dog in you, it's going to show. But he's 5-0 right now, sitting on top of this division. Eagles right behind him at 4-1. He just lost a game, I think last week to the Steelers. Got punched in the mouth, but no biggie. I mean, he's still sitting nice at 4-1. But right now, the Commanders is right there, 2 games behind him. Who started out 0-4 and on a 4-game win streak. They are now at 4-2. They got themselves not only back in the playoff race, but also in this division race. So no matter how good the Cowboys is doing right now, he got the Eagles and Commanders on his back. He can't even let up. You understand? So the Cowboys got to keep doing what he's doing because right now, not even so much the Eagles, the Commanders right now. The Commanders on a 4-game win streak, and that's the type of momentum that you want to gain as the season go on. And the Giants right now, 2-4, they're a playoff team from last season, not looking so good at the moment. They dropped 3 in a row. They were 2-1. I always say in football, it's amazing how a month can go by, how much different a team could look. 3 weeks ago, the Giants were 2-1. 3 weeks later, they're now 2-4. I'm not going to write them off because I respect the Giants' handle, but with these other 3 teams in his division playing good, the Giants cannot afford to let any more games slip away, in my opinion. In the NFC West, you got the Seahawks, 5-game win streak, 5-1 on top once again. And then you got the Rams at 3-3. He was 1-3. He won 2 in a row. He now got himself back to 500, back in this division race as well. Cardinals and 49ers were looking better once upon a time, as you can see. Cardinals were 2-0. They lost 4 in a row. They're now 2-4. The 49ers were 2-1. They lost 3 in a row. They're now 2-4. If these 2 teams, I give them 2-week mark. If they don't pull out and get this thing at least 1 game under 500, their season is over. Both of them. they're going to have to turn things around and fast. Right now, it ain't looking good for them at all. You know, it's looking like it's a two-man race, but it's been looking like that every season. And dare I say, not even so much a two-man race because the Rams been disappointing as well. But, you know, he's staying here right now at 3-3, you know, 2-game win streak, you know, striding the right way is where you want to be. So we're going to go back and we're going to do a little recap. How far back do I got to go? Not that far back, right? Let me see. I think I did this week, if I'm not mistaken. I did week 4, right? Yeah, I did this because the Ravens beat the Steelers. So, yeah, we had week 5. So week 5, which was last week, actually, first up on the schedule, we had Titans and Bills. And Titans crushed the Bills 62-35. Again, like I said, the Titans is a solid user, you know. He just one of them guys he's another one of them guys that's not in the chat. So you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't think nothing about him until you play him. And then when you play him, you'd be like, yo, this dude is pretty tough. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's quite going on with Buffalo this season. I would have thought Buffalo would have came in this season on the high. But, I mean, hey, man, again, that's how much competition is in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, one season you can look one way, and the next season you can look another way. You know, so but luckily for the Bills, though, it's still early in the season. But right now, this ain't looking like the Buffalo team from last year. And the Titans right now is starting week to week. Is study starting to look like a force to be reckoned with over there. Panthers and Browns, Carolina Blue Mo took care of the Browns 45-28. Don't know what's quite going on with the Browns. Listen, I root for the Browns. I root for teams like that, you know, but the one thing that I always go back to is the trading thing. Like, sometimes y'all keep thinking like a trade is always going to fix something instead of just concentrating on building something. Stop always worrying about trades and making trades and just look at your squad and build things up. You know what I mean? Like, build your own guys up. You make all these trades and you still have no results. To me, that's almost like the definition of insanity when you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting something different. If you're making constant trades every season and your team ain't playing no better, newsflash, stop trading. You know, and I'm not talking to one person. I'm talking to the guys. And you know what's funny? Let me say this. Let me just say this about the trades real quick before I go to the next game. You know what's funny about the trades is that when some of you guys, if some of y'all listening right now are going to start laughing because I say it to y'all. When some of y'all guys reach out to me for a trade approval, I always say, when y'all reach out to me with a trade, I always be like, yo, it's probably with one of these teams, a non-playoff team. And sure enough, every time a good user reach out to me about making a trade, it's always with the teams that don't make playoffs. I'm saying this is to buffer my point further. What I'm saying to all you guys that keep making these trades and you're not coming close to making the playoffs, did you ever stop to think about, let me just stop trading and just concentrate on building my own guys? You know, some of the guys that I try trading for, if you build up guys, the guys on your team will be better than the guys that you trading for. The guys that y'all giving away draft picks for can be better than the guys that y'all bringing in, but y'all don't have no patience. And it's funny because with y'all not having patience, it's not transitioning to success. You're still not making the playoffs. So how about you say, yo, F the trading. Let me just concentrate on my team. It's just hilarious to me because every time somebody reach out to me, I know it's with a team that's not making the playoffs, that hasn't made the playoffs, should I say. Because it never fails, really. It never fails. Like, it's like the trading thing for some reason is a quick fix. You keep thinking these trades are gonna make a quick fix. It's just funny to me. Anyway, Dolphins and 49ers. Dolphins blow out the Niners 56-34. At home. Miami they're still on a nice little win streak. Then you had Rams and Patriots. Rams put up 63 in this one, only gave up 25. Defense showed up and showed out in this one. Pats, like I said, Pats, it's been, I don't know what's going on with the Pats, but it's been a long, long season with the Pats so far, and it's still early. So that's to hear me say it's been a long season. That's funny to hear because there's still a lot of games left to be played. Then you had Steelers and Eagles. This is a good win for the Steelers. They punched the Eagles in the mouth 57-38. Only the first loss of the season for the Eagles. Steelers showed up big in this one. They was home. Maybe that home crowd got behind them. Who knows? But this is a good win for the Steelers at this point of the season. Then you had Washington. Oh, this was a force. Bengals and Colts. Bengals blew the doors off the Colts 73-21. Look, man, even teams like the Colts, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, I root for the teams that don't make the playoffs. But, I just think some of y'all focus me on the wrong things, like, and I could go on and on about that. But, it's just some of y'all just not going to get it, no matter what language I say it in anyway. But a lot of y'all head is in the wrong place. But the Bengals, like I said, the Bengals here shake up that division in the AFC North. And right now, he's now tied with the Ravens for first. Broncos and Saints. Broncos blew out the Saints 45-23. Broncos only have one loss in the season, and that was the Super Bowl champs. No shame in that. Raiders haven't lost to anybody yet. Packers and Giants. This is a tough one. No, but that's exactly my point, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly my point. You know what I'm saying? Like I had mentioned before, because Scott kept talking about, last season. Yeah, every time I turn around, he keep talking about that he beat the Texans. It's like, dude, I didn't even, and I said before, when you play certain guys, you get up for them, and then certain guys you don't get up for. So you kind of able to get, to get sucker punched like that. But the fact of the matter is, like, that one win doesn't change your season. You know what I'm saying? You worrying about other teams beating other teams. They ain't doing nothing for your season. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just feel like people's heads be in the wrong place. But I get it. If you in the league and you ain't never making the playoffs, you got to get joy out of something. So I guess I understand that part of it. You got to get satisfaction from somewhere, right? So, maybe satisfaction come from some people making trades, and satisfaction come from some people just getting wins. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, I would think the goal is to get in the playoffs and try to make ish happen on that point on. That's just my thought. Well, who am I? What do I know? Packers and Giants. Giants lost a tough one to the Packers, 49-45. Like I said, Giants right now, he's entering dangerous territory. That whole division he's in, everybody's off to a great start except him. He's under 500. He almost pulled one out in Lambeau, but could not get it done. Giants going to have to turn things around sooner than later. Seahawks and Cardinals. Seahawks blew the Cardinals out. I don't know. I just feel like every week the Cardinals and Niners, I'm constantly seeing these two teams getting blown out. Again, man, look, to all you guys that's constantly losing and getting blown out, pick a new playbook. You try something new. Don't be afraid to pivot. Like, don't just be so stubborn that you're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over. If it ain't working, don't be afraid to call an audible. And I'm not saying this to clown y'all. I'm saying this on some more, I'm just throwing out advice. If something ain't working, man, don't be afraid to try something different. That's all I'm saying. Every time I turn around, I'm seeing big numbers like this with these teams. And like I said, Cardinals started out pretty good. He was 2-0. He's now 2-4. He lost 4 in a row. So I don't know, man. I can't call it. But Seahawks, it looked like target practice over there. They won 70-35. Raiders blew out the Bucks. This was a shocker to me, in my opinion. because no matter what, no matter who you told me was going to win this game, I would have not have picked this type of score. I didn't see the game, so I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if the Bucks quarterback got hurt or whatever. I don't know. I didn't see the game. I'm just going by the final score. Remember before this game started, I was saying potential Super Bowl matchup possibly. And I was saying this is going to be a statement game, and dare I say, statement made for the Raiders. But again, it's regular season. It's one game. It's not the end of the world. It's not gonna affect Murph at all. He's still gonna get back to doing what he do, and I'm pretty sure if he meet him again down the road, the Bucks will remember this, and he will have something to say. But right now, man, the two-time champ looked like he's not holding back against anybody. Chargers and Texas and Chargers, man, another one of them heartbreak hotel moments for me. Like I say, I think I played better from behind, and I don't like the fact that I'm even saying that because nobody wants to be playing from behind. You don't want to feel like you play better from behind, but for some reason, I do. I don't know why. I just seem to lock in more or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Is the early part of the game, I just be calling plays to see what works. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, whenever I'm down, especially in the second half, I play better. This was a good game, though. We came back in this one. We was down 10 with 3 minutes left, and it was definitely oh, all right, copy. It was definitely a good game. You know what I mean? Definitely a good game. And that's what I'm saying, D3. I be pulling these comebacks out, bro. And I don't even be wanting, that's not even the goal, because as much as I'm pulling these type of games out, it can easily go the other way to where I'm losing them. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It's just something about being down. I lock in mode. A punt return. A punt return saved the day. We ran back a punt return with like a minute left to take the lead. That was crazy. My first punt return probably since in this franchise. I don't think I returned the punt for a touchdown any of these seasons that we played. So to do it late in the game at a crucial part was like, yo, what a time to finally get one. You know what I mean? But hell of a game. This made the Chargers 0-5. Like I said, he's in the dangerous. For sure, bro. We definitely can handle the pressure. I'm not giving up until, it's time to give up. When it's like, we down 3-4 scores with a minute left, then it's like, all right, cool. But other than that, man, we in this until that clock says 0. Chargers he's in a tough position right now, because to be 1-5 and you have the Bengals over there, who's a new team that looking like they're on their way to the playoffs, that makes wild card spots a little bit less than the opportunities than it was before. You know what I mean? Because I don't see the Bengals falling off, and the Titans is off to a good start. So things is starting out real interesting, but again, one game at a time. That's got to be the model. Baltimore blew out the Jets 75-36. Don't know what's going on over there in New York. They were a 3-2 or 2-2 or something like that once upon a time, but they're starting to go the other way. Yeah. You already know that play action coming, But yeah, Baltimore blew the Jets out on the road. Cowboys blew out the Lions 52-27. Again, Cowboys, one of the two teams that's undefeated. Cowboys, they're looking like they got something to say this season over there in the NFC. They're off to a great start. Chargers beat the Saints. Chargers got his first win of the season. And again, doesn't matter who it's against. And again, I always say, no matter what, a streak, right? If you're on a losing streak, it's hard to get a win. And when you're on a winning streak, it just seems like everything just goes your way. you get all the breaks. So, even this game against the Saints team who hasn't won the game yet, the Chargers still had a little battle on his hand, and that's because the momentum and everybody's confidence is down over there on that team. Y'all have heard me talk about that many times. And again, I always told y'all, this game had momentum before all the stuff that they put in, the home field advantage stuff. This game had momentum before that. You understand? And if you ever lost 2 or 3 games in a row, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's like things don't go right. You get calls called against you. You drop passes, easy picks that you would catch. You not picking it off, fumbling. It's like that, man. When you losing, it's hard to get things going the right way. And when you winning, I'm telling you, you get the breaks, you get the big calls. You get the crazy catches like, yo, wow, how did he catch that? So it just be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? It just be like that, right? And right, and exactly. I know when you say Broncos, you're talking about the AFC, right? And then now you got the Broncos over there in the AFC. So yeah, wild card spots is going to be hard to come by. Like you got two guys that came to the league who were both good users. So you got to just strap up. But the Lions blew out the Colts this week, 54-10. Lions right now, like I said, they're 3-3. They're at 500. Corlow's slowly but surely trying to get back to his old self. Texans and Packers, this should be a good game. Both teams are 3-2. Packers at home. Texas tied for first in the division. Packers 1 game out of first of the Bears. This is a big game for both teams. Yeah, it's week 6, but this is still a big game. I'll say Packers is home, so I'll say Packers favor in this one by 3 over the Texans. Panthers, Carolina Blue Mo, trying to call itself out the hole he's in. He was 0-4. He's now 2-4. And this win right here over the Vikings gave him his second win of the season. He blew out the Vikings 70-41. Bucks and Chiefs, this game hasn't been played yet, but I know if I'm the Chiefs, this is not a position I want to be in against the Bucks, because the Bucks just got manhandled last week against the champs. And the Bucks is going to look to come out to try to score 200 points this week, in my opinion. I'm going Bucks this week over the Chiefs. I'm going to say 63-21. Jets and Bengals. Jets, once again, they got blown out again, this time against the Bengals. This is back-to-back weeks. The Jets have pretty much given up 70 points. Again, don't know what's quite going on there with the Jets, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got to make them clutch plays, bro. You got to make them clutch plays, And sometimes I didn't see the game, so when you say you got to make them clutch plays, it might not even be you. It could just mean you put the ball in their receiver's hand, he got tackled and dropped it. But again, that's what happens when the morale is low. When the team ain't got no morale, they ain't catching passes like that. So it can be that as well. But man, Jets gonna have to turn things around, because right now the Dolphins still only have 1 loss in that division, but I think the Jets still have to play the Dolphins twice. So that's the good news for him. He still got a chance to get himself back in the division, but them division games are going to start to come down and be pretty big early in the season too. But the Bengals, like I said, the Bengals right now, they own one. They won 5 in a row. Commanders blew out the Steelers 30-10. This comes off a last week victory that the Steelers blew out the Eagles. So I don't know what quite I didn't know what quite happened in this one, right? If you would have rewinded back to last week and you would have said, yo, the Steelers next two games is Washington and the Eagles, but the Steelers are going to be 1-1. The majority of you would have thought that the one loss would have came to the Eagles and the win would have came against Washington. No, it was the opposite. The win came against the Eagles and the loss came to Washington. But this is a nice win for Washington. Why is it a nice win? Not because he won by 20, but because that defense only gave up 10 points. See, when you can hold a good team like the Steelers down to 10 points, I mean, look, it's regular season, but you got to pat yourself on the back and say, yo, we might have found something, and you got to build on that. That's a great win for the Commanders, especially because they won 4 in a row. So and this is the Steelers coming off a great win against the Eagles. So to me, I know the Steelers came into this game on a high because he beat the Eagles. But hey, maybe he came into this too high. Maybe he came into this game too much on a high. Maybe he felt like because he handled the Eagles, he took the Commanders lightly. Who knows? If he did, that's his fault, and I bet he won't do it again. Great win for the Commanders. Steelers, they are 3-3 on the season, and like I said, they're in that division. That division is different now with the Bengals in it because it's no longer just the Ravens; it's the Bengals as well. But good win for the Commanders. Rams and the Cardinals. Rams blew out the Cardinals 68-19. Once again, this is what I got through saying. I said every time I look up and I feel like I look at the Cardinals and 49ers, I'm seeing constant blowouts, which means that you guys ain't even paying attention to what y'all doing out there because you got to make the necessary changes. You have to. You got to make the changes, man. Let me tell you something. I'm just now learning more stuff about the whole coaching ability thing. You understand? And I don't know, maybe Cardinals, Niners, maybe y'all lacking in that department as well. But I'll tell you this, though. Even with me lacking in the coaches, cause that's why I had all them coaching points. I wasn't even using them. I didn't even really understand it, but I still was competing. See, that's the thing. That was real encouraging for me. For me to compete, for me to be competing, and I'm behind the 8 ball with all these coaching abilities things. It's like, yo, wait a minute. If I'm competing and I ain't using all these abilities and I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at, then man, that means we should be even better using these points and understanding what we're looking at. You know what I mean? So maybe that's the thing with the Cardinals and team like the Cardinals and Browns and Niners. Again, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in you. I'm not in you guys. Playbook and everything and coaching stuff. I don't know what y'all got going on, but I'm just saying that coaching stuff. Like you might want to look into that if that's or make whatever change you need to make because they keep losing by 4 or 5 scores every week. I mean, I know that can be pretty annoying. Seahawks blew out. See what I'm saying? Seahawks blew out the Niners. Look, you see? Seahawks blew out the Niners 69-38. Seahawks pretty much scored 70 points back-to-back weeks. And it was against his 2 division opponents. Guys got to make the changes. I can't put it no simpler than that. But Seahawks didn't put themselves in a position to be upset at anything. They said, let's get this game over with quickly and in a hurry. Browns and Broncos, this game looks like it's going down right now underway. Browns only got 1 win of the season, 3 weeks straight, he said. Browns only got 1 win on the season. Broncos only got 1 loss. What's to talk about? I'm going with the Broncos. Give me the Broncos over the Browns. 44-27. Falcons and Ravens. This game right here stole the spotlight from the Commanders and Steelers. Falcons beat the Ravens 35-34. 1-point win, but hey, a win is a win. If the Ravens don't win the division, if he missed winning the division by 1 game, this would be the game that he looked back on. And I say that because I'm pretty sure he looked at the Falcons as a definite win, and he didn't get it done. So when you look back, if you missed out by 1, this will be the game he come back to. It's the Heartbreak Hotel. Wow, what happened? I don't know. He won that. Falcons won the game on the final few seconds or something like that. What happened? Why you say Heartbreak Hotel? By the score, it looked like something went. It looked like something happened by the score. Whether it was a walk-off field goal or a late score with not much time left, something happened. Oh, Bat missed the field goal to win the game. He missed the field goal. I mean, no matter what. I mean, still in all, I'm pretty sure Bat wasn't counting on this as a loss. So um, this will be one of the ones that he gonna think about for a little while. But good win for the Falcons, aka Marzelli. That's what I'm calling the activists. I'm calling activist Marzelli. 45-27. Yeah, I was close. I mean, Browns haven't been scoring many points. You know what I mean? And I just felt like, you would put up that 40 plus on them. So again, the Broncos, another win, chalk it up again for the Broncos, another win for the Broncos. He's still on one right now. Broncos only have one loss on the season. So things is real interesting right now moving forward. But the Falcons, Marzelli, good win, 35-34. He said he sent them, I got to holler at Marzelli, man. That's a funny dude. Marzelli used to have me crying in these chats. He a funny dude, word. And when you meet him in person, he's funny in person just like he is in these chats. But that's who activists remind me of with his way he play. It's like he just out there. He out there doing 90, 100 all the time, no seatbelt. As soon as he hit it, as soon as he slip, run over a banana peel, he going through the windshield. But good win for the Falcons, though, man. Look, this Marzelli style caught the Ravens off balance, and they got a big win. Yeah, Falcons is Marzelli, E. Right? Don't it remind you of him the way he played? I'm telling you, bro, they got the same style. Word, bro, they got the same style. I'm telling you, like that joint is funny. And it just dawned on me, the other day. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this dude activist remind me of Marzelli, yo. Even the way he talk in the chat, he remind me of not only just the way he play, the way he talk in the chat with the jokes and everything. He remind me of Marzelli. Activists be having me dying. You know what I mean? He a funny dude. Word. He a funny dude. He be having me weak. So he definitely remind me of Marzelli, man. Bears and the Giants, again, Bears right now is and doing it very quietly, to me, I think this goes back to no seatbelt, bro. You know how that go. You know how niggas be looking cool, like especially if you driving something dope. You got that drop top or something. You got no seatbelt on. You showing off for the shorties, and as soon as you hit that pothole or something, you through the windshield, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's over. It's over, yo. Everything is a travesty right now, and that's what activists remind me of. No matter how activists be looking good, he got his running back running for 200 yards, and then he lose the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's activist. That's Marzelli, bro. That's Marzelli. I'm telling you. I wonder if that is Marzelli just under a different name. You know what I mean? Like, for all I know, he could be over here pulling the Matrix on us. The Bears, right? You know what I thought about with the Bears? And y'all probably gonna kind of remember what I'm talking about. I think when the Dolphins, y'all remember last season in the playoffs, the Dolphins started going at the Bears, telling them he weak and all this stuff, and they was going back and forth. Yo, I think that kind of lit a fire under the Bears, because here's what I know since that moment. Since that moment that these two had that back and forth, the Bears have done nothing except win. He lost in the bowl, right? He lost in the bowl. And he got one loss in the season. But yo, he's been lights out, yo. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to that. I'm telling you, I think the Dolphins lit a fire under the Bears, because ever since that back and forth they had, the Bears have been putting in work. And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes when somebody questions your pedigree, it makes you feel like, yo, all right, cool. I'll show you better than I could tell you. But again, that's only if you got that dog in you. If you ain't got that dog in you, it don't matter. When niggas start coming at you, you shrink. See, Pressure do two things. Pressure bust pipes or pressure make diamonds. See, you always heard the term pressure bust pipes, and it does. But the flip side to as it is, it can also make diamonds. And I think ever since that exchange, that back and forth the Bears had with the Dolphins, I think the Bears have set out a personal goal of his own to show everybody that, he got game. And he been showing it. You know what I'm saying? So it just, to me, it just goes to show, like, if you're a competitor, you're going to rise to the occasion. Ain't going to be no light. No light going to be too bright for you. Again, but the Giants, he's 2-4. He's struggling right now. He has to, with that whole NFC East playing great ball, he has to turn things around. At 2-4, I don't think the Giants can afford to go 2-5 next week. He's going to have to win next week's matchup. Pats and Bills. Bills again. He's on the verge. He's 2-3, so he's good. But 2-4 is a whole lot uglier than 2-3. But I got the Bills to win this. Pat's only got one win on the season, and the games he's been losing haven't really been close. So I'm going with the Bills to snap out of whatever funk he's in, to pull out of it and win this one and get to 500 and get himself back in this race over there and be within 2 games out of first. I got the Bills over the Pats. I'm going to say 47. Yeah, 47-30. 47-30 Bills over the Pats. And I mean, I ain't gonna do the I'm gonna wait to do the next week's joint. I ain't gonna do it yet. But yeah, a lot of games been played already. We got my game that's left, which is that's one. Don't know what's going on with Bucks and Chiefs. They probably gonna play still, I'm sure. So that game is set for the Force. Then you still got this game was played. So you only got 3 games. You only got 3 games left. Bills and Pats, Texans and Packers, and Bucks and Chiefs. Let's see what's going on with this advance. I know y'all played. I ain't say Browns and Broncos. But yeah, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on with these rest of these games, so we get a nice little advancement going. Everybody's pretty much in the crib. You know what I mean? Can't do nothing. So, hey, what better time than knock your games out, right? You know what I mean? What better time than now? But I'll see y'all on the next 5th, and I'm out.